like to call to order the Common Council meeting for November 11th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Attendance roll call.
Alderpersons Wolf.
Here.
Hamel.
Here.
Decker.
Here.
Bryce.
Here.
Schrader.
Here.
Dilge.
Here.
Madden.
Here.
We have a quorum present.
Thank you. Statement of public notice.
This meeting was noticed in accordance with the open meeting law on Friday, November 7th, 2025, and was amended and noticed again on November 10th, 2025.
Thank you. Public comment. I have 2 forms filled out, both from Mr. Dickman. So why don't you come forward and state your piece.
Oh, got it. Right there. Nope, yeah.
Push it up towards you.
It sounds like it's on.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, no. Okay.
Push it like up towards the mic, the little button.
Scott, a little help? Not that, Scott. Thank you.
Hello?
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Good? So Scott Dickman, S69W17945, Muskego Drive, Muskego, Wisconsin 53150. So I will start with the car wash. So I understand I was here last week and I had heard what was said about the car wash and they're asking for some type of, I'll call it leniency on the payback to the city. And I guess there's a couple points that I'd like to make. If somebody is buying a business, a home, whatever that may be, you do your due diligence, and that due diligence is to find out if there's any liens against it, any rear taxes, rears, utilities, whatever that is. Because that's all part of doing your due diligence. No different if you go to buy a piece of property that's in foreclosure or whatever it is, and it happens to be a dump. And when you buy that dump, you find out that there's contamination underneath there, and if you didn't do your due diligence, if there's water contamination, that goes on to the next owner. That would be any one of us that would have purchased that. It's a long story here, but the point is that I'm not sure why we are funding a business that should have done their due diligence when it came to money's due. You know, I can respect that you want to help this individual out, but I don't agree with not taking the interest for this. I'm okay with the time, I guess, because you don't want to see the business fail, and I don't want to see anybody fail. But when it comes to that, they should have done their due diligence. And the only thing is that if they did go to the county or they came to the city, was the county aware of any liens? Did the city make the county aware that there were liens, or whoever was doing their due diligence? Did they come to the city? Did the city ask? I don't know these answers. So anyway, to my point, that's a whole nother topic, but you got to consider that. At the end of the day, I think that to give them the time is fine, but to not charge interest for the whole thing and give them a year free, I think is kind of ridiculous because you're setting a precedent in some respects. It's okay to buy something, not do your due diligence, but we can come to the city and get money for free. So anyway, that's all I have to say on the car wash aspect. Okay?
Yep.
So, the elephant in the room, if you will. So again, do you want my address again, or are we okay?
Just fine.
We're good?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm here to talk about Hillendale as I did last week. The first off, I'm a bit disappointed in, elected officials mentioning that, if we all vote on this, will we ever have to hear about this again? That statement and tone was uncalled for and unprofessional. Our elected officials are elected to serve Muskego citizens no matter how long or inconvenient something may take, okay? I'm gonna refer back to a memo that was dated from the mayor on the 7th and then on the 10th, because there was one that was dated the 7th, and it appears to be the same memo from the 10th. Maybe something changed, but I couldn't understand what that was. And it was addressed to this whole Common Council. So I'm going to cite a couple of things. In the closing remarks that was written, while some may attempt to use the situation for political gain, the facts speak for themselves. My responsibility is to the residents of Muskego, and they deserve the truth, no politics. So that was in the closing statement, but I'm a little bit, personally confused as to why is political gain or politics even mentioned in this memo? So what point is this about politics? Wasn't this about finally correcting an error that you made and making it right? I think that's what that was all about. So are you now trying to blame the citizens that confronted you, say like me, because I brought it to your attention because it wasn't done properly? I'm the one who made the records request. So, and then, are the citizens political noise to you because you mentioned political rhetoric? So I take that personally. I brought something to your attention that just has to be done properly, and that's it. But you're kind of calling me and the rest of the citizens out for that. So, and I guess if the people would not have asked more questions about this, would the error have ever been addressed? Probably not. That's just my opinion. And I'm going to cite a couple more parts from the memo from the 7th and the 10th. The budget form should have been more accurate. That's on me. Another part that I'm citing, as mayor, I take full responsibility for not catching the error before it was made its way to the Common Council. Okay. So then I go, however, the memo also goes on to mention on the 7th and the 10th, this was a shared oversight, not a deliberate act from any one person. This is not an attempt to shift blame, but merely to point out the system failed during the project. Okay, that's fair. However, the last council meeting, the mayor
10
stated,
seconds.
I'm sitting on from my last meeting, and the people who are not in office, you all have dirty hands. So this includes not only the mayor, it includes the attorney, it includes the council, it includes everyone that was involved. And I applaud two aldermen for speaking their piece, Alderman Wolf and Alderman Schneider for bringing up the fact that, they took offense to being dirty. And I think it was very unprofessional and disrespectful to all of you and the
Can you
citizens
wrap
of
it up?
Muskego.
We're going past 3 minutes.
The comment was not only unprofessional, it was disrespectful to all of us and the citizens of Muskego. So I think that you owe the council and the public an apology, especially the council for saying they were dirty. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, communications from the mayor's office. Leaf pickup is underway, as many of you've seen. The leaves are finally cooperating and falling off the trees. The pickup will continue through the week of Thanksgiving. And that's all I have. Consent agenda, approval of the common council minutes for October 14th, approval of the common council minutes for October 28th, voucher approval. Resolution 067-2025, approval of a 2-lot certified survey map for Brian and Lisa Polinsky. Resolution 068-2025, approval of a 4-lot certified survey map for Keegan Properties / Hillcrest. Resolution 069-2025, approval of a 4-lot certified survey map for Cajun Properties / Hillcrest. Resolution 070-2025, approval of a 3-lot certified survey map for Kearns / Cajun Properties. Resolution 071-2025, approval of a 4-lot certified survey map for Cajun Properties / Hillcrest. Resolution 072-2025, approval of a bond reduction for Russet LLC, Apple Hills. Resolution 073-2025, approval of the F Street Kirkland 1 LLC Stormwater Management Practice Maintenance Agreement. Resolution 074-2025, approval of an amendment to the intermunicipal agreement between the Town of Norway Sanitary District Number 1 and the City of Muskego. Resolution 075-2025, approval of a resolution to increase dog license fees. And Resolution 076-2025, resolution to establish a rush fee for real property status requests.
Motion to approve engross.
Second.
Discussion.
I got just a couple questions, just for my own knowledge
Sure.
here. We go back to, let me see the number here, 067-2025. I just got a question about, when I look at the map,
Adam, can you come
there's
up
not
here?
there's not a road going in there. We're dividing that up. And that road keeps going through the property further. So I just want just understanding of how we do this.
Sure. So that driveway that's currently on the west side of that property, that's in an existing easement to service a different property that's not part of the land division. If the lot behind that services that driveway was being proposed to be split, we would have to be looking at doing like a road dedication or something. But since that's not the lot in question, the existing easement just stays as it's grandfathered in. We don't have the ability to remove that even if we wanted to, as that's a private real estate agreement. So that easement will stay because that services the home that's behind that's not part of the land division.
Okay, so we don't need a road there, that's why I'm looking at that. But in the future, they might have to put a road in there?
The only way a road would ever have to be kicked in would be if the person in the back, that's not on this, they're north of this, if they would want to subdivide it, which their lot isn't easily subdividable. So knowing those owners, I don't think that's ever their intent. They kind of put their house right in the middle. So
I just wanted to know,
sense, so.
you know, it's
Yeah.
future costs and
Yeah,
stuff for the
the
city.
existing easement that's already there will stay, and that easement just allows that driveway to come through the property.
And just so I know, when we do a subdivision of property like this, is there a time limit they have to build on that?
Nope, something can stay vacant forever if they want to. Sometimes people might hold it for real estate investment. In this scenario, it's a family, like parents and
That's fine,
kids, but yeah.
I'm just trying to get it, so I know for the future. And then the other question, I think, I don't know if this one was in there, or it's the next one, something about the town of Norway is involved with that division. How does that affect us?
The town of Norway is that sewer agreement. That wouldn't affect the land division.
It's just for the sewer part, that's all it's for, not, so the property.
Yeah, none of these properties are in the Norway Sewer District. They're all within the
Yeah, it has nothing to
MMSD
do with
district.
And they're all Muskego properties?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just so, reading it over, I just wanted to clarify a few things for myself, that's all.
Alderman Bryce.
Got nothing else.
Okay, so I had a question about splitting that property into two. So that front house that just sold this year, right? And it's an upper and a lower?
So it's not legally a duplex. When the house was for sale, that was kind of represented that way. And we
Yeah.
actually dealt with the prior owners and the realtor and kind of put some notes in the file to kind of draw that line in the sand because it's zoned for single family only. It does have a history of being used as like an in-law suite, so family member only, which is very different than like a duplex. It is still kind of set up that way. It's billed for sewer as like an in-law suite. It could be used as an in-law suite, which is very different than a rental or a duplex. From what I've been told, that eventually once everything's done and the family divvies everything up and builds a new house, that they'll probably be removing the second kitchen at some point in that front home. That would even eliminate the ability for an in-law suite. But it is allowed to stay there now because it is there and it's grandfathered in.
Okay, and then the house they want to build in the back is just for single family, I saw, right?
Yep, correct. Single family zoning.
Thanks.
Are we going to get a lot of questions? We could pull this separately. No. All right, Alderman Decker.
I'd like to pull the voucher approval from the consent agenda and also Resolution 073-2025. I'd like to hear some more about that one,
Okay.
please.
Is that okay to the first and second?
Talk about 073, or you want to
Well,
pull?
let's pull them separately because
Okay,
we're getting
got
into
it.
too much discussion for consent. So any other discussion on 67? All right, for all those in favor of everything except for Resolution 073-2025 and 076-2025, say aye.
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 Opposed? Passes unanimously. Resolution 073-2025, approval of the F Street Kirkland 1 LLC Stormwater Management Practice Maintenance Agreement. You need a motion to get this on.
Move to approve.
Second.
Alderman Decker.
I'd like to hear some background about it, please.
Do you have something specific? I mean, it's a stormwater maintenance agreement so what are you looking for?
This is our standard agreement that we do with all developments. Stormwater maintenance agreement, we've been doing it for a while. This is just standard operating procedure that we do. Is there any, like a specific question? What this is designed for is whenever the developer finally goes away and it gives it to the HOA, that HOA is responsible for the stormwater maintenance. In that agreement, it shows what ponds that are available, if they have ditches, whatever's in that maintenance agreement as part of their stormwater management plan. They sign, goes first to F Street, they sign it, we sign it, and then eventually goes to the HOA.
Does this specify Does this specify the number of ponds there are?
Yes.
Yes,
Detention
yes.
ponds?
If you look at it, it's got all the maps, everything that's on there. And it's recorded at Waukesha County.
It's in compliance with both our local stormwater ordinances as well as the state stormwater ordinances, which are both fairly onerous.
I guess I got a question that I just thought of. What happens if the HOA disappears?
Well,
Do we have something to protect ourselves in there?
so in theory, if you look at this, HOAs, if you look at a plat says every person of outlot owns a certain percentage of it. So they would technically, every house would go in there and take ownership, 1/10. Now, again, if they're not following the rules, we get a complaint, we send a letter, we go do our investigation, that letter, it's violation. It's similar to like just doing a violation, it's a violation of not maintaining it.
So ultimately, to answer your question, is after a process, we would go in and clean it up and put it on each and every one of their tax bills.
Or give them the option to have somebody clean it up?
Correct. Well,
Correct.
if we go through the whole process, by then they've already passed up all of those options.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify
Yep.
that. Okay, thanks.
Any other questions on this one? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Passes unanimously. Resolution 076, 2025, a resolution to establish a rush fee for real property status request.
Move to approve.
Second.
Alderman Decker? Nothing, you just want it separate? Isn't this the one you asked for?
No. He said
Oh, I'm sorry.
vouchers.
My bad. My apologies. I take that back. This has already been approved.
Yeah.
Vouchers. So I need a motion to approve vouchers. Is there a specific voucher you have a question on, or we can take the whole lot?
I just would like to have it pulled off the consent agenda and voted separately.
All right, and no questions on it? Does he have to read them all separately now?
Technically, yes, because he's not telling us which one that he wants.
All right, so
Can you read them?
Alderman Hamlin, you got to go through your voucher readings again.
Motion to approve utility vouchers in the amount of $432,663.10.
Could I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? That passes.
Motion to approve utility,
General
actually, I
fund.
did that backwards,
general
didn't I?
Well, you did that one, so it doesn't matter. Just go to the next one.
General fund.
Approval for general fund vouchers in the amount of $388,527.18.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes.
Approval of wire transfers, payroll, invoice transmittals in the amount of $425,096.84.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Thank you. Unfinished business, ordinance 1505 on, I'm sorry, new business. Sorry. Resolution 077, 2025, approval of a resolution authorizing the funding, I tried to sneak past this one. No, just kidding. Resolution of authorizing funding for Hillendale Water Main Project.
I'd like to talk about that one.
Well, then you need to
Move
make a
to
motion.
approve.
Second.
All right. Alderman Decker.
I have a handout for everyone.
Thanks. Go on. Go on.
I've made some, after going over the resolution that was published, I made some rather significant changes. I would like to suggest that maybe, well, I guess I should read what I've done. Is that correct?
Yes.
What, did you, tell us what the colors mean, I guess?
Okay. The first one that I gave you is the changes that I'm recommending to be made.
You said the first one was.
Yeah, that one, yes.
So that means on this sheet with the darker green, you're just removing that, and that's what this is gonna be on this sheet, just so I understand what we're
Yes.
doing?
Yeah,
So this is the original,
no, these are the changes, and this is the original
This
with
is-
the.
I got it backwards.
This is the
Okay.
original with the changes. So starting off, I would suggest that we change the name of the project to the Hillendale Drive Road and Water Main Project. And starting off with paragraph 1, whereas the city of Muskego has identified the Hillendale Drive Road and Water Main Project as a necessary improvement to enhance the city's water distribution infrastructure and provide reliable service to residents, and whereas this resolution is confirmation by the Muskego Common Council as to how funds were allocated in the Hillendale Drive Road and Water Main Project that was completed in 2024. And whereas on February 28th, 2023, the Committee of the Whole made a recommendation to the Common Council to allocate the available ARPA funds towards the Hillendale Drive Road and Water Main Project. And I'm striking the remaining sentence going on to paragraph number 4, and whereas Resolution 036-2023, passed by the Common Council on May 9th, 2023, approved the use of ARPA funding in the amount of $2,630,006.78 towards the cost of the Hillendale Drive Road and Water Main Project, and any remaining funds to the Test Corners Bridge Project, parentheses, stormwater drainage, that ARPA funds must be obligated by December 31st, 2024, and expended by December 31st, 2026. On paragraph 4 there, I'm suggesting striking out the estimate figure of estimated 4 million, and adding in stormwater drainage and road and water main project. Next, I'm recommending striking completely the old paragraph number 5. Should I read that paragraph?
You need to read everything, so it's on
Okay.
record.
I'm recommending that we strike this, whereas the project as proposed for the 2024 budget requested additional funding not covered by ARPA funds to cover the balance of the presented estimated $4 million project costs. And paragraph 6, I recommend striking that too in its entirety, whereas the 2024 budget presented by the mayor and adopted by the Common Council reflects an error in the accounting of said funding distribution for the project. And I recommend replacing old paragraphs 5 and 6 with new paragraph 5, which would go as follows. Whereas the project as approved in the 2024 capital budget in resolution number 067-2023 authorized $1 million in ARPA funding, zero funds for total project cost, and no inclusion of the Test Corners Bridge project. And I recommend striking in its entirety old paragraph number 7, which says, whereas it was discovered as the project commenced that there was a shortfall between ARPA funding and the remaining funding needed to complete the project. And I recommend striking in its entirety old paragraph number 8 that says, whereas to safeguard employee reputations, remaining funding of the project shortfall was explained and discussed in a closed session on April 8th, 2025. that a consensus of the Common Council voted in closed session to approve the use of funds as proposed by the mayor in said closed session, and I recommend adding or making the change to paragraph number 9, which states, whereas on October 28th, 2025, in open session, the Common Council again discussed funding for the Hillendale Drive Road and Water Main project, that this resolution comes about as a result of said discussion to authorize the funding sources for the budget air shortfall of $1,134,492.97. So in that paragraph, I'm recommending that we keep that paragraph, but we add drive, road, and the clause to authorize the funding sources for the budget air shortfall of $1,134,492.97. Next, I recommend striking in its entirety old paragraph 10, which goes, whereas the following table represents an accurate description of funding sources for the Hillendale Drive Water Main project, and the table lists funding sources, the ARPA funds, American Rescue Plan Act ARPA funds, $2,630,000 under the amount, Water Utility Fund, $1 million under the amount, Sewer Utility Fund, $31,550.64 under the amount, Capital Expenditure Fund, $102,942.33 under the amount, and total project funding, $3,764,499.75. I recommend replacing that with new paragraph 10, which will read, whereas the following table represents the accurate description of the total project cost, budget air shortfall, and funding sources utilized in 2024 prior to Common Council approval as part of this resolution. And the table that I've put in shows total project cost as $3,764,499.75. Total ARPA funds, $2,630,006.78. Total budget air shortfall, $1,134,492.97. And then below that is the funding source broken out as the Water Utility Fund, $1 million, Capital Expenditure Fund, $102,942.33, Sewer Utility Fund, $31,550.64, with the total being $1,134,492.97, which matches exactly the total budget shortfall shown also just a couple lines above in the table. Lastly, I recommend striking in its entirety old paragraph number 11, which reads, now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Muskego, Wisconsin recognizes that the total project funding of $3,764,499.75 occurred as described above to support completion of the Hillendale Drive Water Main project. I recommend replacing that with new paragraph 11, which will read, now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Muskego, Wisconsin authorize the aforementioned funds to be utilized for the budget air shortfall in the amount of $1,134,492.97 for completion of the Hillendale Drive Water Main and Hillendale Drive Road and Water Main project. And the rest of the document would stay the same, where it's dated this 11th day of November 2025, sponsored by Alderman Bob Hamill. This is to certify that this is a true and accurate copy of Resolution 077-2025, which was adopted by the Common Council of the City of Muskego. I'm suggesting these changes because, to summarize.
So before you go in your discussion part, that's a motion?
I'll second it.
I'm asking him first. Is that a motion to make that amendment?
I would like to, yes, that'll be my motion.
Okay, and Alderman Schrader seconded. Now discussion.
I would like to emphasize that the changes that I'm recommending, it eliminates the estimates, which I don't think really have a proper place in the resolution. It adds in mention of Resolution 067-2023, which was the capital budget approval, which was omitted in the original version. It also protects the employees' reputations by removing mentions of the employees that occurred in paragraph 7, in old paragraphs 7 and 8. And I think the changes are a little bit cleaner. And also, let me emphasize this. It emphasizes, with the new table, it emphasizes the dealing with the shortfall amount of $1,134,492.97. I think that makes it clearer that this is what this is addressing, that the resolution is addressing the $1,134,492.97 budgetary shortfall.
Any other discussion?
I'm going to just say that I agree with this. It looks much cleaner. It makes sense not to be talking about things that an estimated 4 million, I don't know why that would even be in a resolution. It just seems like this original resolution is a lot of unneeded things that are more covering. Let's just keep it clean, keep it simple and precise as to what we're doing here. And there was no vote in a closed session about any funding. And anyone who watched the meeting, I believe it was on the 28th, can see we clearly as a council didn't know what the funding sources were. So to say on this resolution that we voted or approved something in closed session is completely farcical. It never happened. Yeah, that's a word.
Okay. Anyone else?
My turn?
Sure.
It might be cleaner to some, but I need to point out to you that you have to be careful what words that you're going to use in this resolution. Scott can probably help me out, but I believe ARPA funds can only be used for water, not for road. Can you come up and, so if you guys call this a road project, you may not be able to use the ARPA funds for that. You also have to be careful in the last paragraph using the word utilized, because if you use the word utilized, it looks like you're reopening the budget up and trying to use those funds for that, and that could also make us lose the ARPA funds. And I'll give Scott to reply to them. And then the third thing is, you can't do something like this and put Alderman Hamel's name on it because he had nothing to do with this. You can't just put some other alderman's name on it and say that he's sponsoring it at this point. You'd have to put your name on it if that's what you want to do at this point.
I'd be willing to put my name on it.
Just the point on that, he's amending the original resolution, so when resolutions are amended all the time, we don't change the sponsor on that.
Okay.
I would think you're okay with that.
And before you go, Scott, the question I have, I guess, if we're going to change, are we changing the name from Hillendale Drive Water Main? Was the name always Hillendale Water Main Project, or was it Hillendale Drive? I mean, was it a road? I mean, what was the original name? I guess I'm confused on what I'm saying because I'm looking at both of these. What was the original name of this?
The original project was for the water main, based off the fact that for ARP funds, we can use it for water main and for.
We never mentioned the road.
Well, when you repair the water main, you have to fix the road.
Right.
So the project is water main. It is the Hillendale Road Water Main Project. I just want to make sure clear that we use that term. It's a very important term to do.
Can ARPA funds be used for roads?
No.
Can they be used for roads if they're part of a project in this, like we're.
Correct. If you the water main had to go down the middle of the road, you have to repair the road because you're putting the water main in there. Does that make sense?
No, I just, so if we reverse this and said Hillendale Water Main and Road Project, would that make a difference or not?
I'm not a lawyer, but I would rather you didn't open that door.
I mean, because I believe what I remember is that this was a water project. We were gonna do the road because we.
Because the water main goes right down the middle of the
We were
road.
gonna use the money to
You
start the
have to
project.
fix the road. If you put that water main in
I
there.
remember something to that effect.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but that's what I think. I
And
remember.
why test corners is about stormwater. It's about the stormwater culvert pipes under test corners road.
Yeah, I just remember it was connected somehow, but it's been a while. You wouldn't change that, is that what you said?
I would not.
So that was the name, so that's what I wanted to verify
Yeah.
what the correct name would be, so if we don't want to lose the water funds, I mean, I do remember us doing the project, the start, because we had the funds available to do the water. The section needed to be done, and we kind of put this all together to make it happen. That's kind of what I remember, but, I have to say that on my behalf, I depend on what's given to me per agenda, per City of Muskego staff employees, per full-time elected officials, per what's on the agenda, that we get Friday before the meeting with not always attachments attached to it. I can go into this more deeply, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it at I have a lot to vote on with as little time and information. Let me finish, please.
I'm not going to cut.
With as little time and information.
Alderman Wolf, I don't want to cut you off.
So I'm trying to go back to remember.
Can you just keep it to the amendment?
I am. This is all about the same thing.
Okay, that's
I'm
fine.
trying to go back to remember to get everything refreshed.
That's fine.
But what I depend on for my vote is very crucial that I receive all the correct information. So in order to have the amendment done, I got to have all the correct information too. So I just want to point out that I do my due diligence based on the information I'm given in a very short period of time, and things change along the way, and I have to depend on what's in front of me to do the correct votes. So with that being said, I'm just going to point it out that I take this pretty seriously, and I really watch what I do, and I believe this has all started because of me questioning Sharon at the time when she was a finance director about our budget, which I went into pretty in depth that year on, but I just want to point it out that I do my best, and I can only work with what's given in front of me. With that being said, I won't go any deeper.
Any other comments about the amendment from anyone who hasn't spoken yet? I will give you a chance after that, but everyone's going to get their first shot. Anyone else want to speak on it? Alderman Madden.
Yeah, I just think that we obviously have to have the attorney look at this before anybody could approve this anyway. There's
Can you speak up a little, or
that have to change.
I can't hear you
Bring
that
them,
well over
talking to
here.
the microphone, please.
Sorry, got a cold, it's a little rough. Yeah, I think we obviously have to have our attorney go through this. There's things that have to be changed, and we couldn't approve it this way without him seeing it, in my opinion.
Alderman Dilge.
I would agree with that. I don't really like doing this on the fly. He's already brought up a couple of issues that he sees that would need to be changed. If, from a legal perspective, if there's things that might get us in trouble there, I would at least want those things amended. And then Jeff, as being the one who wrote this, is that the only issues you see with that versus the original copy we're looking at?
I didn't write, I have nothing to do with this one. And that's a good point that you bring up is, you have a.
I think his question was, you wrote the first one.
Oh, I wrote the first one.
Yes.
I'm sorry, not this one. I thought you were asking me if I wrote this one.
No. So you mentioned a couple issues you saw right off the bat. Is there anything additional you see that varies from your original that would give us problems, I guess?
In Alderman Decker's. Yeah, I can't answer the question because the proper way to have had this done would have been Alderman Decker to come to me and show me this ahead of time or talk to me, so I would have had a chance to look at it. He didn't do that. The first I'm seeing this is right now. It's asking a lot of me to try to digest this, to try to talk to Jenny, to see if these numbers are accurate. So, none of that was done. You have a city attorney. Some of you like it, some of you don't, but it's me right now. And you can go ahead and approve something like this, but if you do it, I am totally out of this because I have had no chance to look at this, to even verify even one sentence in here. I'm happy to do that, but I can't do it right now on the spot at this time.
Alderman Schrader.
You did right. I'm just asking curiosity why all that language was added in about estimated 4 million, approving things in a, I've never seen a resolution like this in my life. Why was all that, in my opinion, mumbo jumbo put into this that should have been clean and simple and
Well, we obviously totally disagree. I believe it's clean and simple. You believe it isn't. So we have a
but
dispute there.
it doesn't have truth in it.
We don't need
There was no
discussion. Just
vote
your-
in
Wait,
closed
just-
session.
just
There was
have
no
your
vote,
questions.
and you're
That's
putting that in a resolution. That's a lie. It's not a fact.
Why is everything you say the truth and what everybody else says is false?
Did we vote
That's
in
what I'm
closed
asking
session?
you.
Can I ask that
Yes,
of
we
everyone?
did vote,
we?
yes.
Where's the resolution that accompanies that vote from closed session?
There is no resolution. You know that.
Why? Okay,
You know
so if
that.
we voted in
All right, I'm
closed
not going
session.
to argue with you. Go ahead and
Okay,
make your point.
if we
Make your
close,
point.
if we voted in closed session, and like I was told, we voted in closed session, which I was there, I never voted. It was Rick telling his version of what happened. There was no real questions and answers. It was just him explaining, and there was no clarity about the money. Now, we found out at this last meeting on the 28th where all the funds were from. Nobody on this, Bob Hamill didn't know where those funds came from. He made a resolution, what he thought was voted on in closed session, which never happened. And that resolution was not accurate because that is not where the money sources came from. They came from water and other sources. We never had that discussion. We as a council vote on how money is spent, over $50,000 per our purchasing policy. That was never done, and it's done in the light of day at an open session, not in a closed session. I have been trying for over a year to get this on an agenda. It took having a open records request to get this on an agenda to even talk about. It's so frustrating to me right now. I was thrown out of the mayor's office when we tried to bring this to council. Council needs to vote on these things. The mayor is the executive branch. We're the legislative branch. He doesn't get to decide how the money is spent. That's what the council is for. That's the check and balance that we need to that's what we're voted into office to do for our constituents. And I am just so frustrated by this whole thing, and this whole resolution it's not factual, Jeff.
And just one more thing for you. If you're going to insult my work and other employees' work, please don't do it in open session. You're welcome to do it behind closed doors or in front of the mayor. I'm just asking you to please not do that.
I'm not
Thank
insulting
you.
your work. I'm just saying there's no,
You
it's
said
not
it's a
fact.
crazy,
All right,
crazy.
hey, no,
It's not
stop,
fact-based.
both of you.
It's not
We're
fact-based.
You address the chair.
Okay. Again, this is not based in fact, it's hypotheticals, and we don't do resolutions based on estimates for projects. I mean, we never voted on a $4 million project. There's nowhere that we voted on a $4 million project. That should not be anywhere on this resolution. I'm sorry.
You're not sorry, but thank you. Let's take a vote on it, Mayor.
Is there any more discussion on the amendment? Alderman Wolf.
Before we vote on this, I just want to, I guess Jeff has some valid points to bring this out. We really don't do any resolutions without running through our legal system first. I don't know how we would do that or what. I mean, as a council, you brought this up. I believe you should be the lead to go with this, but it's hard for me to vote on this today. I think you two at the end there agree with that as you voiced your opinion. We just need to get it clean, done, and presented and legally good. I mean, the only real stumbling point, either one of them is fine with me. The stumbling point I have is what do we need to call it? And I don't want to lose $1 million. I mean, that's the biggest. I mean, we're unfortunately we're past the point of what happened. We got to look at a good, clean resolution and possibility of not losing any money. So that's my point.
Alderman Decker.
I'd like to have an opportunity to talk to the city attorney about this, if I may. About his concerns about my suggested proposal. I think we can get something worked out so that we're not jeopardizing these funds in any way. But I think we can tighten up the language, so to speak.
Alderman Schrader?
And I agree with that. The language, again, I don't think is appropriate. And any council member, I don't know if everyone's aware of this, but we are able to write resolutions as council members. It does not have to be done by the city attorney. Just so you know, legally, we can write a resolution. That is within our power as council members. Just like it's within our power to request things on agendas and have them placed on agendas, which is being blocked by the current administration. So we do have the power to write resolutions.
Anyone else on this? All those I'll do a roll call vote on the motion to amend, starting with Alderman Wolf.
Alderperson Wolf.
Hang on a second.
Can you hear me?
Are we voting?
You're voting on the motion to amend, so his amendments. Do you
Okay.
want those included or not?
Okay, now, are we also, do we need a motion from Dennis, just to keep this clean, to put these two, blend them together and make them happy for everybody?
Right now you have a motion from him with his proposed changes.
Right, I understand that.
That's what we'd be
But if we
voting on.
vote this down, then we just go with the old,
Well, you either go with the old one or you make a new motion to amend.
and that's what I want to see. I just want to make everybody aware of what their rights are, because if somebody took the time to put a motion on the floor here with a amendment and took the time to rewrite a resolution, I think he should have the opportunity to make a motion to amend his motion so that he can work to have his resolution.
Why don't we take care of the one we have at hand, and then you can make, he or anyone else can make a new motion to amend.
Okay, we're just doing a second right now on this
Correct.
one? Okay, gotcha, all right.
We're not doing a second, we're taking a vote, yes.
Oh, there was a second, you're right, okay.
Are we ready?
Question.
Yes.
If we have an amendment on the floor, can we put forth an amendment to that amendment?
Yes,
That's what I was stating.
you can.
I would like to put forth an amendment to that amendment. I would like to have the opportunity to work with the city attorney.
That's not an amendment to the motion. That's an action. That's different.
If I could amend his amendment.
Okay.
Let's have the resolution be called what we called it when we did the ARPA funds, the Hillendale, I believe it was the Hillendale Road and Water Main Project.
No, Hillendale Water Main Project.
No, it had
Hillendale Drive.
Hillendale
Water Main
Drive. Okay. That's fine. So we're amending it to have it called the Hillendale because we don't want to jeopardize our funds, and I agree with that. And then I would like to state, I believe Dennis took the exact numbers from Jeff's amendment. Is that correct, Dennis?
Yes, I did, yes.
Jeff's resolution.
Or from Jeff's
Yeah.
resolution. I believe he took the exact funds. I know Jeff,
The numbers weren't changed.
the numbers were not changed. So we don't have an issue, I don't believe, with the numbers. If the numbers aren't changed, does that sound fair, Jeff? If the numbers aren't
That's
changed?
the chair, please. You just make your motion.
Okay, so then my motion is to just go with Dennis's amendment, or his resolution,
With a
just
different
keeping with a different name and cleaning this all up.
Well, that's the part I need specifics on.
Specifically, everything Dennis has put forth in this amendment or resolution, aside from the name, we'll keep the name as it was.
So your motion is the
Correct.
motion to amend the amendment is just in name only. Is that correct? You're changing the name.
Yes,
Title.
changing the name on the amendment, so there's no confusion with getting our funding.
Is there a second on that?
I'll second it.
Further discussion on that? Alderman Wolf.
I still have a little bit of a concern on the legal side. I mean, I don't care. Jeff brought this up. I would go with this and be done, but the word utilize sticks out in my head. You mentioned that, Jeff. You said it opens it up to going back to the old budgeting.
That's why I used the word recognized.
So, I mean, just at a legal standpoint, I'm just concerned that we have two things standing out already. Not that we can't, I guess, we can change that too if you like. Put it to be recognized for the budget rather than utilized.
That's saying you're not opening anything up and reusing money. You're just recognizing that how the funds were used.
Yeah, I mean, let's clean it up and move on. I mean, it is done and it's in front of everybody. We all know what's going on.
Unfortunately, you're going to have to wait because we can't do 3 amendments.
Yeah.
So
But I'm
right
just
now,
saying-
we have a motion to amend the amendment and a second. I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
Alderman Wolf, but
Okay.
you can wait until we get through this process here. And when we're done voting on the motion to amend, then you can come back and amend it again.
Eileen had her hand up.
Alderman,
Yeah, I'm not comfortable approving anything that hasn't gone through the city attorney's hands, sorry. I just think it has to be, all the Ts have to be crossed and the Is dotted, and he needs to look at it first.
all right.
I would agree with that, and I don't see any problem with Alderman Decker and the city attorney getting together in the next 2 weeks and having this same resolution on our next agenda, and we just approve it then.
Can we
no
vote
major
on the
fighting.
motions
Where
that's
are
on
you
the
at this
floor at
point?
least right now? And until we vote on the final resolution as amended, it's still on the floor, but let's get through it so we can simplify this. There's a motion on the floor to amend the amendment, and that amendment is just to change the name. Roll call vote on that.
Alderperson Wolf,
Yes.
excuse me. Alderperson Hamel,
Just to change the name, so
But take everything, accept everything else.
Amendment.
accept everything else though.
His amendment. That's
But you're
fine.
accepting everything else,
That's fine.
even the word utilize.
This is just the first go around.
Well, no,
So I'm confused.
if you want to clean this up the best, vote down both amendments, and then defer it.
Okay. Well, we can't make a motion to defer it. You have to.
You can't vote, let's go through the vote process right now. Vote the amendments, however you want to vote on the amendments. But first one, we have the motion, the amendment to the amendment, which is just the name. Let's go through that.
Okay.
Alderman Wolf.
Yes.
Alderperson Hamel,
No,
Alderperson Decker,
Yes.
Alderperson Bryce,
No.
Alderperson Schrader,
Yes.
Alderperson Dilge,
No.
Alderperson Madden,
No,
The motion to amend the amendment fails. Now we have the motion on the floor
Yes.
just as he presented with the stuff that you want the attorney to go over. You can we're going to put that on the floor right now. It's just so we don't walk away in the middle of an amendment.
Okay, I'll make a motion to
No.
defer this.
But you can, but can we,
It'll be easier. Am I
but
deferring
we're
this
going to defer
because?
in the middle of an amendment. So I guess
Just get through the amendment.
let's just vote the amendment down, defer it, let them
Okay.
come back with something clean, and you make a motion to clean it up at the next meeting.
because this is their vote on,
The-
to amend.
this
Yes.
is the original.
This is the
amendment.
original, this is the original amendment.
Okay.
Roll call vote.
Alderperson Wolf,
So if I vote yes, it means
No,
we're gonna,
well, you do it, I'm not telling you how to vote.
I mean, what
The
it means,
cleanest way
what
is to
it
get rid
means.
of the amendment, so vote no. Then, once we vote no and it's dead, defer
Okay,
this,
that's what I'm
allowing
asking.
him
If I vote
time to
yes, we
sit down
keep it.
with
If I
Jeff
vote
and
no-
come up with whatever
Okay, no.
you want to do.
no.
Alderperson Hamel,
No,
Alderperson Decker,
Yes.
Alderperson Bryce,
No.
Alderperson Schrader,
Yes.
Alderperson Dilge,
No.
Alderperson Madden.
no.
That was 5.
All right, fine. Now somebody can make a motion to defer.
Motion to defer to the next meeting.
Second.
All-
Seconded.
There's no discussion on that. Can we just,
Can we have one quick?
there is,
Yes.
The deferment is so that they can get together
Correct.
so that we're all on the same page here. I want to make sure. Okay, just clean it up and bring it back and let's move forward.
Ready?
All right. Motion to defer. Just do a roll call. It's fine.
Yeah, okay. Alderperson Wolf.
Yes.
Alderperson Hamel.
Yes.
Alderperson Decker.
Yes.
Alderperson Bryce.
Yes.
Alderperson Schrader.
Yes.
Alderperson Dilge.
Yes.
And Alderperson Madden.
Yes.
So item is deferred. Thank you. Resolution, where am I? 078, 2025, resolution approving payment plan regarding residential equivalency connection, the rec charges for Muskego Wash LLC, DBA Warrior Wash.
Move to approve.
Second.
Before we have discussion, I just want to clarify a couple of comments that were made during public comment on this. We are not giving them anything. We are deferring your interest on it, but our interest reflecting is more than we're getting from any investment we get already, even the discounted one that we're talking about. So I just want to be clear on that. And I understand it may be setting a precedent, but you guys have brains. You can decide yes or no on everything that's brought forward. This was a unique situation. I'm not advocating one way or the other. I'm just clarifying where we're at and how we got here.
Just to clarify, their proposal is a 10-year plan, no interest year 1, years 2 through 10, 5% interest. Yes.
Alderman Decker.
Is there a reason those terms are not spelled out in the resolution?
Because we didn't know what you were going to do, and we figured we'd leave blanks in there and just fill it in.
So if you go with this, I'll just prepare the resolution and fill those numbers in.
I think, Jeff, you even mentioned that you were going to go back and bring it back to us at the last meeting, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
You're going to, yeah, or someone was going to.
Alderman Schrader.
Is this the same, because I know we've had other businesses with these rec charges. Is this the same plan that they're all on?
No, no one else is on a plan besides our normal 10-year terms, 8% interest. They're the only ones that came to us and asked. And it's the only one we've talked about so far.
Okay, and then this is just when we had those rec charges that were delinquent from the prior owner, did the municipality notify the register of deeds? Did we do our due diligence to?
I don't know, it was before I was here.
Yeah, I don't know. Scott, do you know?
I can say that from prior meetings, we were cleaning up the rec charges and trying to get them to a point. I mean, we were all in the meetings together trying to get people and the city together, and we were working out terms with other people and notifying them and so on. I mean, we kind of lost control over it for a little bit with change of staff. So we came back to clean it up. And I can also say that I was the one who recommended give them a year of interest. That's probably why they came up here. And second of all, I also said when the foreclosures came up to let the buyer beware. So, you know, it is kind of their fault, but we're going to try to help them get to a point in 10 years of payments is not uncommon for this rec charge. So
Does anyone owe close to this 111,000?
I do know this. Whenever people do title searches, we provide them all the information, rec charges. There is sometimes sanitary sewer assessments, water main assessments. We do all this. I don't know why it wasn't done, maybe because it was a foreclosure or whatever, but I know like lots of times Colleen would come over and ask me, hey, do they have a rec charge and everything like that. I'm not sure why this one was not done.
Well, it's still a foreclosure and let the buyer beware. I mean, you got to
agree.
do due diligence.
It was a foreclosure. It was, what I'm guessing is the first time they ever bought something out of foreclosure. Not that that's any excuse. It is buyer beware, but, you know, they also bought something and had $100,000 bill, and it's a small family business, and they asked. And that's why we're here today. Alderman Schrader.
When did the sale take place?
Geez. 2017, 18, right around there.
So they've had it for a long time, and all of a sudden they got hit with this bill?
Mm-hmm.
We discussed all that.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been going through this with the council.
Well, Scott, the rec charges are reviewed all the time on usage and so on. So
annual
that could
basis.
be part of it too, so.
Annual basis, we do it, surveys go out.
So the more water usage, the more rec charges they're going to have. I mean, there's a lot of things going on with this, but I think just help them out. We get to 10 years, so we save them 3%. It's not going to kill us. Try to save a business and keep it going. So we'll see where it goes.
Any other comments? Alderman Bryce.
I mean, you know, they should have maybe did a little more due diligence, but if it was their first time buying a business or a foreclosure, they didn't know.
And just
Sometimes
to
it
be
is.
clear, I'm guessing on that. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
me
don't
too. I'm
take
just
that-
guessing too.
Okay.
And I mean, we are not giving them any money. They still will pay all of it back. And then years 2 through 10, 5% interest. I don't think it's a bad deal. I think it's nice to be nice to people, to help people out, to show people grace. Maybe one day Mr. Dickman will get to see some grace and kindness from us too.
Excuse me, you cannot address me.
She was speaking out loud.
She was addressing it to me when she looked at me, Rick, and you know I.
Let's just stop
Enough.
it, please.
No, Jeff,
Go on. Anyone else?
only a call for.
All right.
I'd-
Roll call. Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to make one final comment that I just don't feel like we should be setting a precedent on this, and that's what we're doing, because other businesses in the future will come forward and we'll have the same kind of thing happening. So it's not a great idea. It's my 2 cents.
Roll call vote.
Alderperson Wolf,
Yes.
Alderperson Hamel,
Yes.
Alderperson Decker,
No.
Alderperson Bryce,
Yes.
Alderperson Schrader,
No.
Alderperson Dilge,
Yes.
Alderperson Madden.
Yes.
That's 5 noes.
Thank you. Resolution 079, 2025, acceptance of a proposal for the fire and EMS study.
Move to approve.
Did somebody? Any motion?
She did. I'll second it.
Okay. Kate, you want to get?
Thank you. So we're here tonight to follow up from the Committee of the Whole meeting, which I believe took place in May, where we had conversation about the concept of hiring a consultant to work with us and the Test Corners Fire Department to evaluate where we're at in terms of needs for now and into the future. So this originated out of the representatives from Test Corners approaching us and us working together to try and come up with some kind of process study, whatnot, to look into the services that we have now and how we want to proceed in the future, what the capacity is, things like that. So I was asked to reach out and get quotes from qualified firms that complete this work. So I did that. I got 4 proposals. So we have Innovative Public Advisors was one proposal, Strategic Management and Consulting. Both those are based out of Wisconsin. We also got proposals from Fitch and Associates, which is based out of Missouri, and Matrix Consulting Group, which is based out of California. So I, looked into what kinds of firms do this work. I reached out to some of them. I reached out to some colleagues that are in the fire service and whatnot, have experience working with consultants, and just got some recommendations. And so that's how I was able to get these proposals. Once we got them, we looked at expertise and performance in terms of how they, have performed in the past, prior jobs, their response and understanding of the project scope, the logistics and, efficiency, the cost, the logistics, locality, everything you would kind of think of when you're evaluating consulting firms to do this kind of work. So we kind of narrowed this down to 2 firms, and that would be Innovative Public Advisors and Strategic Management and Consulting. Both are locally based out of Wisconsin, and both had similar price costs. We met with both of the firms, and at this time, we feel both are qualified, but I'd like to move forward a recommendation to work with the Innovative Public Advisors. So I'll give you a little bit of information about this firm. So they were established recently in the last year. They're comprised of professionals in local government, city manager and assistant city manager are the principals in the company. And in this project, they would be working with a chief, a fire chief, a former fire chief, to kind of advise on the fire EMS specifics, obviously, as this is a fire and EMS study. So basically what they do is they partner with municipalities throughout Wisconsin to strengthen governance, align priorities, and chart clear paths forward. So I think that really spoke to us. They're able to look big picture, they're able to facilitate conversation, and they're able to kind of guide forward this work. So that's pretty much why we're here tonight. I have worked with the fire department, shared this information. They're here tonight as well. Is there anything else you'd like me to add?
Questions, comments? Alderman Hamel.
So, I don't know how to phrase this. What made you lean towards innovative over strategic management? What did they provide that the other one didn't, or what did you see that made them more attractive?
Yeah, so I would say they're definitely both qualified to do the work. I looked at, I think the local government management perspective, a lot of this work is going to be reaching out to stakeholders, facilitated conversations, strategic planning, as well as getting into the weeds operationally and things like that. So I felt that they had both of those components, and I thought that that would be a good combination for what we're looking for. And they were the lowest cost as well.
Was the cost the main thing? Because it sounds like they're pretty equal, and from what I read, they're...
Yeah, the cost is it's negligible, the difference. I think it was $33,500 and $37,000. So, but that's just a point of clarification, to make. Yep.
Sorry, I do not believe I was at this committee of the whole when the recommendation was made, and I've questioned this a couple times, why we would even need something like this for $33,000 or whatever $1,000 when we can access all this information ourselves. I mean, this is actual information that can be provided by the fire department, by whatever authorities in charge of making sure they're on time, checking the times on their calls and all that stuff. We can have all this information. We can get the financials from the fire department. We can do all the things that these people are doing for $30,000, talking to stakeholders, and there's really only 4 different choices. Correct me if I'm wrong, what we could do. We can bring it in-house, we can combine with, there's basically 4 choices. I honestly, I do not see the need to spend $33,000 to have someone do what you can be doing, Rick can be doing. We could have Rick could appoint, the mayor could appoint a committee to do this work. We do not need to spend $33,000 to access this information that's right at our fingertips. To me, it seems
I think
like throwing money away, because they're literally, like I said, there's 4 choices. And then also, I think I asked about this in the budget. I don't remember where we budgeted this. I was told it wasn't in the budget, I believe, when we just voted on the budget.
Mm-hmm.
We do have money in this year's budget that we can handle this, which will be part of the conversation when we get to that. So we have plenty of surplus from this year, from savings that we've realized through their operating budget. So there is monies available that would easily cover this. Addressing your first comment of we could do this in-house, I think you're mistaken what the scope is of what we're looking for. So our community, obviously, as everyone knows, has been growing. Our volunteer fire department and EMS service has been serving and continue to serve Muskego very admirably, and they're doing a good job at it. However, as our community grows and the demographics of it change and the type of housing that we have changes, the stress that it puts on their system is growing exponentially. And it gets concerning at times to be able to have 24/7, specifically more with EMS than anything else, but having full service on that. So they did come to me and talked and said, we need to start thinking about what our next step is. And we're not saying our next step is necessarily going to be to replace them. It could be funding them more. It could be supplementing them with, a combination of volunteers paid on call or full-time. I mean, there's a whole plethora of different options out there. There are more than just 4. And the biggest thing, I think, before we need to move forward, the information that we need before we go forward would be, where are we now? And how do we compare to what national standards are? I do not have the skill set to do that. We don't have, this is not information that we have in any files or anything else. We need to be able to take and have someone do an evaluation of staffing, equipment, and call times and availability and resources, the whole thing. Look at it objectively and then say, okay, for a community like Muskego, you should be able to do X, Y, and Z. This is not going to be a report that comes back and is going to be critical of the fire department in any way, shape, or form. This is going to be, here's where we are, and here's what we need to do to move forward. Or they're going to come back and say, hey, you guys are just perfect where you are. You don't need to do anything. Or they come back and say, you really need to do, pump a lot more resources into this to make it right. I don't know what those answers are, but I don't know of any community that has gotten to the point where we are, where we're looking at what that next step is, that tries to go about that by themselves. I think that's foolish, because we're not talking about, small dollar amounts for any of this. I mean, if in the, I don't want to say worst case scenario, but the most aggressive scenario would be to go to a full-time department. Well, that's, a community our size that could take our police department budget and multiply it by slightly more than that, because there's slightly more of them than they would be of our police department. So we're talking tens of millions of dollars just in operating on that. Equipment, we're well aware of how much equipment costs. So we need somebody to evaluate where that is an expert in this and that has gone through these progressions with now either themselves or with other communities to be able to advise us so we know what the next step is. And that's why we're bringing it forward. Anyone else have a comment before we go to Alderman Schrader? Alderman Dilge.
I went back and I watched the May 27th meeting. When the fire department was up there, when the gentleman from the fire department was up there, we were asking them what they needed. And I mean, money and manpower, which is the most Captain Obvious answer ever. This seems way more comprehensive. So I do see value in it. That's all I got to say.
Alderman Schrader.
Well, and I read through what Kate had provided, and it just, to me, it's just almost redundant work. It's literally things that we would have access to, and talking to stakeholders and all those things that we can do. And honestly, my opinion, one person's opinion, but after $33,000, I have a feeling we're going to get a report and we're all going to sit there and we're still going to have the same discussions, and we're still going to want to find things out on our own and ask more questions of the fire department and feel where they really want to go with the scenario. And we're going to want to talk to other municipalities neighboring us, and we're going to want to look into collaborating potentially with other cities, because there's different kinds of grants and resources that we can get for those things. Those are all things that we can literally do without paying $33,000. Again, that's my 2 cents on it. All this information, we could get all the financials from the fire department. I'm sure they'd be happy to share that all with us. They want to be, they're good stewards to our city. They want to work together. I feel that. I just don't see why we need to have this third party come in and try to throw the salad together for us. We have everything. We have all the parts here. So.
Alderman Wolf.
I'm just looking at, Sorry, page 3. Project timeline, that's in the,
There's a couple page
innovative?
threes. Which document are you looking at?
The innovative document, the one with
Okay.
the fire truck on.
Yes.
If you go down, I'll give everybody time to check, everybody on that page. I'm just looking at the comprehensive study of EMT and fire services. It's a 4-month deal here, projects. And if you go through, there's week 1, 2, so on to week 16. It was broken up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things in 16 weeks. But then I go down further and it says the cost below includes IPA will be on site 3 times to facilitate engaging discussion. So I'm confused if they have 6 weeks of, there's 16 weeks, but 6 is divided into 6 sections. So I don't know how that coincides with meeting 3 times on site. To me, there's at least 6 meetings here. Is this all like
I think
Zoom?
I think that part, I think these are 2 separate things. I think the 3 times on site is to meet with us.
Okay, that's what I wanted to double check, if that's the case. So we need to know that. 3 trips to City of Muskego, additional expenses. It says additional expenses increased per visit, scope, discussion, blah, blah, blah. So this could be more than $33,000.
It could be, but quite honestly, I saw the 3 in there myself, and it's something we'll negotiate before we sign the final contract.
Okay, I just wanted to point out that timeline project there, and it's, so everybody's aware of what they're looking at, if they haven't reviewed this before.
Alderman Decker.
At one time, did we not used to be getting quarterly reports from the fire department as to their EMS response times and fire response times?
Yes.
Why haven't we been getting that? Is there a reason why we haven't been getting it lately?
No, we did that. After the last public safety meeting, I did ask for that going forward, so.
I have a question related to what he just asked. When I did rewatch that meeting, we requested calls, response times, all that data to be presented at the next Public Works, Public Safety meeting. Or
we've had one since then.
I know, that's what I say. They cancel them a lot. And of them, I think I missed one, and I just wanted to make sure it wasn't that one.
No, you didn't miss it. All right. Alderman Madden.
I agree we can get all the information from them. However, I don't believe any of us know what we would do with it when we had it. And I think that's why we need to have these people come in and help us figure out what we would go.
Alderman Hamel.
I kind of agree with Eileen on this. This is kind of like the health insurance consultant that we had. We could have got all that information too, but I don't know if any of us would have known what to do with it, how to come up with the savings, what plans would have been best to present to us. These are the professionals that pretty much this is their life. They do this on a daily basis to determine what's best for us, and then we make the decision from there on what we think is best for the city. They're not going to make the decision what we think is best for the city. We're still going to have that. They're just going to present the options to us. So I do think the consultant is the best route to go. I understand Alderman Schrader's, in regards to getting the information and the cost issue. But, like Eileen said, I don't think any of us would know how to implement it.
Bryce.
I very much agree with Tom and Eileen and Bob that there is value in having an expert come and show you and analyze all of it for you. And also having an expert, they kind of are aware of the trends of what's going forward and how to stay ahead of the curve and not be behind times when we're coming in deciding what we're going to do. Because we don't want to decide we're gonna go forward with something, and we go forward with it, and we're already behind the cutting edge of what's coming forward and what could be more beneficial or feasible or efficient. So I see the value in it. I agree with them.
I guess the last comment I got is that, what are we telling them we're looking for? Are they coming in just blindly and doing what they want? I mean, or what they know what to do? Or is there direction given from the city?
So what we had asked the firms that we talked to on this was explained where we are at as a community with size and what we have currently for our service and how our services are provided. And we said we would like an evaluation to look at where we're at and look at what our standards, how do we compare to standards out there? We are not pointing you in one direction at all, because I took your comments from the committee of the whole when we took to heart. I do not want to lead a consultant down the road and tell them where I want to end up, because I don't want to end up there for that reason. So I want them to look at it. I also want this to be a collaborative process with our fire department. We're not looking at replacing our fire department by any means. I mean, these gentlemen and ladies devote a lot of their time to us, and we're not talking about, I'm not minimizing roads here, but it's not like if you could kill somebody in a road. It's not like doing a park where if you don't do the best design out there, you can come back and do it later. This is public safety. I mean, we need to do this right.
So are they here tonight, you said?
No, I did not want to. We can bring them back and before we sign the contract if you want.
And have them explain,
honestly, I didn't
talk to
want
us?
to, I didn't want to have both firms here and then having us not even deciding if we're,
Right.
because I didn't know where this was going, so. Yeah, no, they both actually both places wanted to be here, and I just said, why don't we let us go through our conversations first. So I guess there's two questions. And for one, do we need to study? And two, if we do need a study, which firm do you want to go with? So Kate went through, made a recommendation. I'll be honest, the two that we have here, if for some reason you have more insight into one over the other, I think they both have their strengths and weaknesses in some areas. So the decision was close, but you're not gonna, I think we would be well served by either one of them. So first, can we just do a straw poll of do we want to do a survey or hire a consultant or not? Can we just do that to start with? This is not an official vote. It's just, I got to move this forward. So, and it's not, you're not committed to, we're not doing it. We're not approving the resolution yet. I just want to know yes or no on, do we need, because if it's all no, then we can just end our conversation and be done.
Well, I would say I'd like to have them come in and explain and talk to us. I have no problem with that.
Okay. So are you okay with, but do we want to hire a consultant? I guess it's not. No, we don't. I'm not saying which one.
Just hear what they have to say, and if it's
well, but I don't know which one to bring in. So let me just go ask. Do you believe in the value of a consultant, Alderman Wolf?
Oh, me, I'm skeptical. It's always vote yes for the kids, but that
was good timing.
I have. There you go. And I express my opinion. I have other thoughts on what we can do and so on, but. We definitely, I want to keep the fire department the way it is as long as possible, and whatever that means, and that's going to be part of my goal, even with or without a consultant. But yeah, I have no problem bringing them in and possibly going with a consultant.
Alderman Hamel?
Yes.
Alderman Decker? Alderman Bryce?
Yes.
Alderman Schrader?
No.
Alderman Dilge?
Yes.
Alderman Madden?
Yes.
All right, so we at least see the value in this. Does anyone have any? I'd like to bring in one of the two. Can I bring in IPA and have them come in? And if for some reason you don't like them, we just don't use them. We okay with that? Mm-hmm. All right. That being said, how do we want to do it? Just
you have a resolution, so you have to defer it.
Can I get a motion to defer to the next meeting, and we'll bring them back?
I'll do it. Motion defer.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Deferred. Thank you. Do it by agenda.
Rob.
Unfinished business. Ordinance 1505, an ordinance to amend the zoning map M2 to PD/Enterprise Drive, second reading. I will need to get this on the floor.
Move to approve.
Discussion. This was the item that we're changing the zoning to PD because they want to do an addition to their building. The existing building we found when going through the process is like 6 inches close to the lot line. And the easiest and cleanest way is to rezone it, which will allow them to also do their pretty extensive addition to their building. Does anyone need any other information on this? Roll call vote.
Alderperson Wolf.
Yes.
Alderperson Hamel.
Yes.
Alderperson Decker.
Yes.
Alderperson Bryce.
Yes.
Alderperson Schrader.
Yes.
Alderperson Dilge.
Yes.
And Alderperson Madden.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Thank you. Old business. Motion to reconsider the resolution 064-2025, the 2026 capital budget. Alderman Decker had asked for this, so I need you to make the motion, and then you got to get a second and see if you get enough votes to bring it back onto the floor.
Didn't you miss something?
Yeah, you missed something. You missed recycling?
Did I miss a couple things?
Recycling.
I was like, oh my God.
Oh, I did.
First,
It's all the wrong order.
here, right here.
Where is,
So you did
Oh.
this one, then you were supposed to go here.
all right. No, why is, mine's different. I did not.
What the heck? Well, don't look at mine.
Sorry, I was given,
The first reading of ordinances.
yeah, which we just did.
You did the unfinished business. You didn't do the
Okay, the
recycling.
first reading.
Yeah.
First reading of ordinance is second reading if rules are waived. Ordinance 1506, an ordinance to amend the Chapter 350, Article 3 of the Municipal Code of the City of Muskego Recycling. This is just to amend the recycling code so we can stay in compliance with being a responsible unit. Any information anyone needs before the second reading on this? Alderman Hamel.
What changed on it? What changed on it?
There's some minor revisions related to multifamily units that it's in there, and then some minor changes to educational requirements with the responsible unit. So City of Muskego, we are a responsible unit for recycling, okay? So we have to have an ordinance that what we do for how we collect our recyclables. It allows us then to apply for a grant. We get a grant about $76,000 a year for it. They just decided, based off of new state law, that we have some new updates that they required. We grabbed the statute for them, they provide it to us, and then we put it in there. And like I said, there's some small things about educational, and then some more things about multifamily requirements that they have to, that we put in there. So
But they gave you a document.
This was provided-
This is verbatim to what they want.
verbatim what they provide us. We want to make sure we're in compliant with the state of Wisconsin, which is provided, this is provided by Wisconsin DNR. So,
Alderman Decker? We're good?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, does that answer it?
I can go verbatim, like if you want to stop in, this is this first reading, I can go through the whole thing about recycling, everything that you ever want to know about it. And education, they want more education. Why I'm saying education, batteries, big one, composting, things that we're seeing, electronics.
Newsletter material.
Yep. We'll be updating stuff on our website. We'll be, besides this ordinance, there's 3 or 4 things that we need to do. So.
Any other requests for information? Thank you. Now we're going to go on to old business. Reconsideration of Resolution 064, 2025-26 capital budget. Alderman Decker had asked for reconsideration on this. I'll need you to make the motion and then.
Yes, I'd like to motion that we pull from the capital budget
Well, just make the motion to bring it back on, let's reconsider first.
I'd like to make a motion to reconsider the 2026 capital budget.
Is there a second for that?
I'll second it.
Discussion. Now you can talk about why you want to do it.
Yeah, I'd like to, because there was so much uncertainty about the cost of the roofs for the fire department structures, I'd like that portion pulled out of the budget.
Can I ask a question? What do you propose we do when we do have a solution then, if we have no placeholder for it?
I don't know the answer to that, Rick.
Okay. Alderman Hamel?
Here's my thought on it. You know, it has to come back to us for approval once we get the bid. If we like it or not, that's when we decide if we go with it. I don't know anybody who does proper financial budgeting of their own personal family life who plans a large expense without knowing how they're going to pay for it. And this is all that, I believe this is all that is doing, is showing how we're going to pay for it. If we don't have it in the budget, we go out and get bids or estimates. It doesn't get done next year. Then it goes out to, correct me if I'm wrong, 2027, the 2027 budget. And then the bid or estimate that we get now may not be good then due to cost of goods.
So go on. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, so I think it's the responsible thing to know is to know how we're going to pay for it. Doesn't mean we are, but we have to have a placeholder to show that we're going to pay for it.
So if you recall when we were going through this in the capital budget, Scott had talked about the roofs on those buildings do need to be replaced. The number that we have in there is just that, it's a placeholder. We have no idea. The rough estimate that we had on that was based on doing the roofs a certain way. We're not sure if we may end up doing them that way. We may not. Scott's got to look into it more, but at least there's some funds there that are allocated towards it. If it comes back and it fits within that budget, good, we have it. If it doesn't fit within that budget, there's options that we can look at that point. We can look at other funding sources. We can look at where we are. I mean, there's a number of different funding sources that the council could approve at that time to make up the difference. And I would actually strongly recommend that we don't change the capital budget because right now it's got some money allocated towards it. And it won't have any impact on anyone's taxes one way or the other on this. This is a placeholder, and if for some reason we can defer it to another year and we need more money, you can do that, but at least there's something allocated toward it. I see no need to bring this forward and pull it out. Alderman Wolf.
And I think I even brought the point up that we should have a 5-year plan like we do with everything else. I think we used to have that with them for fire trucks and everything else. And that should have been in, so we weren't shocked that this was going to happen. I mean, I don't know where we can come up with that kind of money overnight within a year, just throw it on a budget. But I think you reached out to them and you got them on a 5-year plan now.
As best they can. I mean, they're, like I said,
the best they can.
They're volunteers. They do their best.
Yeah, I mean, if you know you need a roof, you probably know more than 6 months before the budget meeting. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. But yeah, I think a placeholder is a good thing to have in case we have to do this. I mean, if we're responsible for this, then unfortunately we have to do it.
Any more discussion on the motion to reconsider? Roll call vote. A no would leave it as is. A yes would bring it back to the floor where you can further debate this and make changes to because then it's like fresh on the floor and anything on that resolution can be amended or changed. So
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Is there something in specifically that he wants that money to be allocated for instead?
He didn't say.
No, not necessarily.
So just I just wanted more clarification on why you want, because I questioned the amount myself when we were, and I pulled a little bit of it out to do this study. Yeah, feasibility study. But I mean, it seemed like Scott just had basically no idea how much these roofs are gonna be. It was just kind of slapping a number out there.
Well, Scott, you got numbers.
He didn't know what
Did you
kind
get
of,
numbers from the fire department?
Yeah, the numbers that we're using right now are the numbers that if doing the roof a certain way, we're just not sure we're going to do it that way.
Correct. The numbers were provided based off of cost estimates that they gave to us. Why I don't know is we have not investigated what is the good and right type of roof. The one that they suggested on one might not be the way to go because of the fact that that type of roof is no longer done anymore. And that might not be a good way to replace in kind. And if we are keeping these buildings for a long time, I would like to come back to you and say, this is the roof that we suggest doing because that's going to be a building that it's going to last for a long time. I don't have that information. All this is a footholder for that money. If you take this away, we have no footholders. Why would there's no investigation going on. There's nothing. These roofs are going to have to be replaced at one point or another. I have to come back multiple times telling you, hey, here's a COW meeting. Here's our investigation that we did. Here's what we suggest. We got this type of roof for this one, this type of roof for this one. Based off of these funds, we can do both. Based off of these funds, we only can do one. We defer the other one. You know, there's multiple options. I just don't have enough investigation because, again, I just got this in July, but taking this out is not a good idea. It's a good idea for proper planning to have this in here so that we can move forward. It does not allocate me to spend the huge funds for this. We have to come back to you, which was explained to you several times.
All right. Alderman Decker.
I think I appreciate the comments. It's helpful to me because I don't think I really understood, to be honest with you, the function of a placeholder. I think I have a little bit better understanding of it now. So.
Okay. Roll call vote.
Alderperson Wolf.
Yes.
Do you know how you vote?
Yeah, that's to keep it. Oh, that's.
No, you want to vote no?
Oh, no, no, sorry, no.
Alderperson Hamel.
No.
Alderperson Decker.
Present.
No, you can't do that. Yeah.
I didn't even.
We can abstain,
No.
right?
No, you can't abstain because you can compel him to, he can't, there's no reason to abstain on it.
No.
Okay.
Alderperson Bryce.
No.
Alderperson Schrader.
no.
Alderperson Dilge.
No.
Alderperson Madden.
No.
Fails. Thank you. Review of committee reports. In front of you, you have the Plan Commission meeting minutes from September 2nd and October 7th, as well as Finance Committee meetings from August 26th. Any updates from any aldermanic liaisons on any of the things that they are liaisons to? Alderman Schrader.
No, I just have a question.
Yes.
When we're having public comments, I noticed you were timing them. Do they get 3 minutes total or 3 minutes per item? Because I noticed
they get
that
3 minutes and typically I give them or I don't stop them. So it's
So
not down to the second.
So it's 3 minutes per person,
Yes.
even if they're speaking on multiple items? I just want to clarify that
Per person, per item,
per person,
per item.
per item.
At least that's my policy on it.
So was Mr. Dickman given,
He used a little over 2 minutes for the first one and he was pretty close to 4 minutes on the second one.
okay.
All right?
I just want to have clarity, just going forward, when people speak, if they're speaking on multiple things, are we
Correct.
only giving them 3 minutes to speak about 5 different things?
No.
Okay, and just to clarify that, we can, as a council, extend that time if we agree.
Oh, good to know. Thank you, Rob.
Alderman Bryce.
I don't have anything from any of my committees, but I do want to say Happy Veterans Day.
I couldn't hear you.
Yes, thank you for your service, everyone.
Happy
Oh,
Veterans
Veterans.
Day.
Agreed. Thank you. We don't need closed session. So a motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? We're adjourned at 7:40.